Hello, hello, hello. I'm here. I'm here. I forgot to do the thing. Was it you schedule the live stream? I forgot to do that. But I'm here now. I'm here now. So I'm just going to wait for the chat room to fill up. Walsh is available. Thank you. Hot beverage has been delivered. Hooray! Oh, just gotta wait. Just gotta wait for everyone else, isn't it? Really? That's it. What do we do? There's nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about with it. People firing questions, is there really? New. Walsh is going to go and see Porcupine Tree. I should ban him, shouldn't I, really? I should ban him forever. Michael says, have you seen the new Halloween movie? No. Why would I? do people watch those things still? Styosis, and this is a quick question. Any chance we're in Hendrix? Well, yeah, actually, it's the next time I'm doing after Queen, but you've gone and ruined it now. So no, I think I'll do something else instead. That's what I was going to do, but you've ruined it. You spoiled it for everyone. Oh dear, that's a shame. Kurt's in. He says, evening. I enjoyed your new Queen album reviews. I understand why a bad production can ruin an album. Exactly. It's very important. Production is very important, and consistent production is equally important. Again, I don't think people appreciate just how difficult it is getting sound to be balanced on a record. Because again, you can use different recording studios, different equipment. Again, even just a different genre. If you're doing a different genre of music, you still want it to all feel like it belongs in the same group of songs. And if you have things that just feel just a little bit off, or a little bit, underprepared or underproduced, it can really throw off the rhythm of the album. Stago says, don't review Cream when expecting as good as experience, but yeah. What? I've got to do Cream. If you want to talk about exciting blues bands, it's got to be Cream, isn't it? Payne's in, one of the Paynes. We're missing the other Payne. Crazy says, do you have a favourite incarnation of the Doctor, or is it more of a family thing to watch? Well, it's always your first, and my first was Tom Baker. And then on the reboot, it's Eccleston. So Baker and Eccleston. I'm fond of Davison too, but after that, those are my doctors. But it's always the doctor that you grew up with, right? Is it a family thing to watch? No, I've been watching it since the reboot, and Verity watched it. Well, she didn't realise she was watching it. She used to watch it when she was a baby, you know. And no, it's just we do it because it's on and it's something to do. I asked them if they wanted to review it with me, and it's something that they both wanted. Well, Herb's only just started watching from like the last series, and so it's something we do together, and that's it. But you know, I watched them because I've been watching it since 1975, I think it was 75, 76. My earliest memory is The Deadly Assassin, so whenever that was first shown, because it gave me the heebies. Uh-huh. Oh, where are we? Pascal, he likes Led Zeppelin 4. It's actually untitled. Pascal's in. He's still chatting away. Deep Purple. I'm not really a Deep Purple fan apart from Machine Head. Andrew says, "Hi Darren. I want to thank you for the record you sent. Well packed and played well. Well, it was cleaned. I cleaned it myself using my what's it called? I can't remember the name of it. My anti-stack cleaner. Everything's cleaned. Every second-hand record I buy in is expertly cleaned by yours truly. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I lost money on that one. You like Scorpions as well? I'm not a big fan of Scorpions either. I guess Pascal, you're a fan of like the kind of like the heavy metal and the heavy rock. Good for you. Jack says, "Are you a fan of Blind Faith or Derek and Dominoes? The former is let down by its cover." No, the cover is most excellent. You've got to remember, these things are artistic statements, and only prudes and people who get easily offended and upset, rail against them. It's a visual. I mean, I remember you'd see it in Woolworths. You didn't think anything of it. But people are a bit weird now. People are weird. It's we live in strange times. You're 2 clicks away from the most vile filth, but a girl on an album cover you suddenly get upset by. What world do you want to live in? What world do you want to live in? We didn't have 2 clicks away from the most vile filth that we could see. We didn't have that, But there you go. Again, people that get upset about nudity on album covers just. They're not worth talking to, are they? Agassiz says, "How's my groove been?" It's all right, I suppose. Payne says, "My first Doctor was Pertwee. I remember the Green Death, but my favourite was Tom Baker." There you go. Ajax says, "Was just reading on TV News website that if you go to sleep between 10 and 11 p.m, you're less likely to have heard problems, or an English time. Stop the streams and go to sleep." Heart problems, you mean? Well, I've supposedly got high cholesterol. I don't know how, because I have a fairly low fat diet. I suppose I'll just have to give up having milk in my tea. now as well. I might as well just be dead, mightn't I? Who knows? But I don't know. Again, I emailed my doctor's surgery and I said, "Oh, I haven't heard about my high potassium blood test, and that was a month ago. Could you look into this for me?" And they sent back saying, we can't give details out via email. That's not what I asked. Normally when I ask, they usually get something to phone me up. Obviously, I had a bit of a thick person looking at the emails that day. "Oh, can you give us a call?" No, I'm not going to call you. That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. I like to email you, so then I don't want to piss around on the phone. That's why I emailed. So 20 going. Well, it's nearly going. Oh, wait a minute. OBS blanked out, apparently. Pascal says, "Good luck." And the same to you. Andrew says, "I'm enjoying the Queen reviews. It's good. All my reviews are good." What do I think of the new ABBA album? I've no intention of listening to the new ABBA album. Who cares? They took 40 years. Come on. I don't really care much for it. I've heard the singles and it's like, sounds like ABBA. But look, I'm not an ABBA album person. I'm a ABBA singles person. And the two singles I heard were like, it's not Waterloo, is it? Mark says, "Evening, Darren. Got to say, it's been really loving the Queen reviews this week. Great stuff. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on Hot Space." All my reviews are great. There isn't a bad review. I resent this. Go and watch all the others. Everything I do is wonderful. It's just some people like them when I'm, I don't know. Just go and look at the Porcupine Tree comments. Just go and look at that. It's just, YouTube and the internet and the world in general isn't a place now for people to be critical of anything. You can't be critical. And if you are critical, you've got to write a fucking essay about it. And that's a load of bollocks. Because go back to old newspapers, old music papers, Melody Maker, NME, Sounds, Record Mirror, whatever, and go and go and look at their reviews of music of the time, and you'll go, bloody hell. Watch film reviews, Go and watch old Barry Norman film reviews, or Mark Kermode, or even Jonathan Ross for that matter. The reason that you listen to people's opinion is because they are experienced and they have a knowledge and they have a passion for their subject. That's me. I have a knowledge. I have a passion for my subject. Yeah, you can be authoritative. You can be that. But YouTube isn't the place for that. If you want to sit and watch an hour and a half pseudo documentary thrown together by somebody who's just gone crazy with Final Cut Pro, go and do it. You ain't going to get it from me. You know, well, that's it. I'm just here doing reviews. I do the reviews in the style, well, one, in my own style, but I'm inspired by the reviewers, the film reviewers I've watched in the past, and by those old, old magazine reviews I used to read before, I don't know, the turn of the millennia. I think it was up until about 1999 before everything turned south. You could still get some pretty pithy and sharp reviews in the 90s, in the music press, and then it all suddenly changed. It became a little bit, a little bit milquetoast. And this is the problem. Again, I think up to a certain generation. This is why my core demographic is between 45 and 55, because anyone under the age of that just don't get it, because they've been patted on their head their entire lives and not faced any actual fucking criticism. You are raised now not to have a critical mind. You are raised now to follow the fucking herd. You're raised now to get your opinions from Twitter. That's why you follow QAnon and anti-vaxxers and shit like that, because you're thick. You have no critical faculty. You cannot get to the truth, even if it was presented to you. Huzzah! But yeah, every review I do is wonderful and brilliant, because I am wonderful and brilliant. One of those. Ajax says you could put vegan milk in your tea. Do you know what? I think I'd rather just. No, I wouldn't. I've tried all that shit, and do you know what? It's just awful. It's awful. I think I would rather just die. I think I'd just rather die right now. I tried that, and it's vile. It's vileness. This is why vegans are so fucking sanctimonious, because all the fucking joy has been sucked out of them. The last track, Ode to Freedom, is quite orchestral and different. We're talking about ABBA, I guess. What have I been grooving to? Mainly Queen. And the Radiohead thing. I listened to that the other day. But once the Queen's finished, I've done all the Queen reviews now. They're done. So now I can move on to the next phase in the review cycle. I'm going to get all those done. And these are all preloaded in for weeks ahead into the far-flung future. It's going to be great. And then if I drop dead, you ain't going to know about it for about, 6 weeks. It's going to be brilliant until the reviews run out. Jack says, Peroni or Moretti? Neither. Lance says, I'm not keen on it either. Yeah, I think he's talking about oat milk. Craig says, hoping a good political discussion happens tonight. Always entertaining. No, because I'm not allowed to, because people don't like it. Brendan Airy, he said, no, I'm not allowed to talk about politics anymore, because I guess our political opinions don't align. And, you know what it's like. You got to be on one side or the other. And that's fucking all shit, They're all fucking awful. They're all awful. Peter Christian, what time will JFK Jr. be appearing? Yeah, I've heard about that. I think he's on just after John Lennon. Payne says, my brother had vegans preaching at him in his cab the other day. Did he say, the seats are made of leather? They'd have jumped out like no one's business. What's the old joke? Vegans? Oh, I've never missed an episode of Star Trek. That's from Just Good Friends back in the 80s. Lance said, I'm looking forward to your Hot Space review. I heard it's your favourite Queen album. It doesn't get any better to listen to, but it's not as bad as Made in Heaven. Made in Heaven's actually below Hot Space in the great pantheon of the Queen catalogue. Am I getting the expanded Anthony Phillips archive box? It's come out next year. Yeah, I might do. I don't know. Again, when is it? What is it? November. It's not coming out till like January or something, isn't it? That's like 2022. That's like a year away. It's like a year away. Payne says they were upset at the treatment of carrots too. He's talking about the vegans. Not ABBA. Wosley says even. Andrew says apparently Coldplay's gone prog. Won't be the first time. They worked with bloody Eno, for Christ's sake. Walsh says, got a copy of Up by PG. Enjoyed some tracks, a bit overlong. I like the dark feel of the Oval. All I'm missing there is Us. Us is the better album. It's my favourite. There's So, and there's Us. Us is it's because a lot more of the thematically, I think it resonates a bit better with me. So I'm just trying to reply to this comment on a video. What will next be reviewed? Oh, I don't know, Pegasus. It's a secret. Shh. Steingozi ruined it. He said do Hendrix next, which is what I was going to do. Now I can't do it because he'd gone and, So if everyone's quiet, everyone keeps their big mouth shut, everything will be fine. All right? Everything will be fine. But shh. Secret. Shh. Seen any good films lately? No. Oh, have I? No, I haven't. Not really. I've not really felt like it. I look at all the various streaming platforms, and I look at all the films. I saw this wasn't recently. It must have been a month ago now. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I enjoyed that, and it's a long film, but it went really quickly. It went quite zippy. But no, I look at all the streams, all the streamings, and it's like, oh. I watched the documentary about Velvet Underground. That was interesting. Or was it? I don't know. I kind of zoned out. I watched it, but I don't feel... I might have to watch it again. I don't know. I think the way it was edited together made me feel like I fell asleep during it. I don't think I did. I watched the Zappa documentary for a second time. But I don't know. Maybe it's just my age. I sat there and I thought, and at the end of it, I thought, I don't know if that was good or not. Was that good? What did I just watch? It was by Todd Haynes. I don't know. I think it's on Apple TV or something. Dexter was back. I enjoyed that. That was good. That was last night. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David has to go to the dentist. Dentist has the music on too loud. I said to the missus, because I was discussing this when I was at the dentist. I was saying there should be, and I worked out a little script for Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry has to go to the dentist, and the dentist has his music on too loud. And then it was going to be called The Left-Handed Dentist, because my dentist is left-handed, and he kept putting his hand across my face to work, and all the gubbins kept going across my face, and it was really irritating. Because if he was doing it from the right, it wouldn't have done that. But he was doing it from the left, so his things falling. It's like, And I thought it would have made a great Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. And so I was talking about it with the missus. I said, wouldn't it be funny if Larry David went to the dentist? He had to get a new dentist, kind of maybe a crown fell out or something. He had to get, and the dentist he's got a new dentist, and the new dentist says the music on too loud, and it was Greek music as well. I had Spanish music, so again, it's in a language you don't understand. So that's like a bit, you're trying to follow it, but it's, so that was, and not like I didn't mind because I listened to world music, so it's not a big deal. But it was the loudness, and it was played on a phone. But Larry Davis is too loud. And I thought, yeah, that'd be really funny. And so then he could go on about all the famous left-handed people, and Larry could go on about, yeah, but and talk about all the artists. Wasn't Leonardo da Vinci left-handed? Michelangelo, all those kind of people were left-handed. And it could be this big parade of famous left-handed people, and then I don't know, one of his friends is left-handed, and we're bringing a celebrity who's left-handed, and that'll be the stinger. I had it all planned, and then. First episode back of the new series, Larry David's dentist plays the music too loud. So I tore up my script, threw it in the air. Fuck you, Larry. Fuck you. I guess you had to be there. Payne says, no, ABBA aren't bothered about meat eaters. There's a good song on the threat to the bumblebees, though. Nice song. Zeb says PG is good, but every song is either too long or too produced. Or these days, it is. Up is good. These days, ever since he ditched having his own producer and produced himself, he's kind of got crazy. Blind Ass would go, "Hello, bro. Why that face?" I don't know. It's one I was born with, I guess. Ajit says, been listening to the Tony Kaysner album. It's an odd one, but I do like it. Yeah, I listened to that when it came out, and it was, I think I talked about this. It's about 9/11, and it was released on the anniversary, the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And I thought, if I do the video on this, people are going to fucking hate me even more because I thought it was awful. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I'm sure he's got an investment in it. Because him being I don't know, does he live in New York or something? I don't know, but. I remember seeing Laurie Anderson live. It was on her tour supporting Life on a String, and it was literally, oh God, not even a fortnight after the attack, and she played at the Royal Festival Hall. And again, this is somebody who's lives in New York, and her album Life on a String features lots of references to New York. And that was a very somber concert. And again, Oh Superman took on a new context. The line, "Here come the planes. They're American planes," and she sings it, and the whole song just shifts. At that point, it would have been 20 years since its release, 81, 2001. The whole song just shifted in meaning in that moment. And then you got Tony Kaye, and it's like you've got people on the plane. I thought, I don't know. Thought, what can I say about this without being lynched? So I didn't bother doing it. Well, she's best and worst pint in the UK. I don't drink. I don't know who's asking me. Pegasus says, would you review any Captain Beefheart? Christian says, I'm setting up a reminder for your Porcupine Tree album review. It's going to be shit. Mido says, hi Darren. I used to buy a Melody Maker in NME. The former's reviews of Radiohead's Kid A was scathing. Pure opinion piece, no objectivity. As I like the album, still do. I never bought the rag again. Yeah, but that's fine. You've got to remember, there was a lot of kickback. This is what was interesting. This is why I don't have a problem with that, because what it does is it helps you kind of think about, well, what it should do is help you think about the album that you're listening to, and kind of think about why they're saying what they're saying. The problem with Kid A is, and this is how I felt about, I felt again, Kid A and Amnesiac. It should have been a double album. They were both recorded at the same time. They both released a year apart. Some of it, because it is so stripped back and so reductive, you do get the feeling it is a case of the Emperor's New Clothes, musically speaking. And you've got to remember, this was like they were the world's biggest band after OK Computer, did all those tours. That album was very multi-layered and multifaceted. There was lots going on it. And then to completely reinvent themselves, it was either genius or stupid, right? This is the thing. It was either genius or stupid. And again, I think the music press, again, if they saw what was happening, again, this is turn of the millennium. Everything kind of changed in the year 2000 with music. Everything kind of folded in on itself. They just saw it as being incredibly simplistic, and it is. It is very simplistic. I think again, if it had happened in the early 80s or something like that, when you had the new wave bands who stripped everything down, I think it would have been acceptable. But it felt a bit like an album out of time, right? That's what it felt like at that moment, right? I didn't have a problem with it because I knew what they were doing. They were trying to reinvent themselves. They didn't like what they had become. With the Bends, they were very much an FM radio friendly. I saw the Bends as a very US album, very American, and I saw OK Computer being a subversion of that. So Kid A is a subversion further of where they were from, but I could see why a lot of music critics just hated it because there wasn't any sophistication there. It was the opposite. It was the complete opposite. It was a regressive act. And my issue was that that album should have been a double album, and it works better now. Now they've released it as a double album. That's how it should be. So I was, when they released Amnesiac, it's like, come on, this is just the same as the first one. This is the same. They're the same thing, because they are the same. Kid A, I always saw it as Kid Amnesiac, and I've been saying it for years. And those who follow me know I called it Kid Amnesiac. That's what the A standed for. Standed for. It's getting late. So those of you who follow what I say know I said that, and so this thing was called Kid Amnesia. Kid Amnesia, whatever it's called, Amnesiac, whatever it's called. So they were meant to be together. That was my big gripe with it. But I can see what they were doing. They were trying to reinvent themselves. But when I read those reviews, I didn't throw my handbag in the air. Again, that's because you're being far too precious over a band and an album you like. That's not what a review's about. A review is, make you to think. It's supposed to get you to think, or at least check out the music. Okay, you like it. The review didn't. That reviewer might have been the biggest fan ever, and they were expecting, I don't know, another great album like OK Computer, and they got something that they just didn't connect with. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine waiting for an album? Because it's like, was it 3 years between the albums? And it turns up and it lands on your desk, and you listen to it and you go, where's the guitars? What the fuck is this? And it's really simplistic, and it's almost childlike, and it's it's the opposite of what previous albums, to the point of it being, like I say, a reductive act. And you're the biggest fan, and you go, what? Not everyone can blindly accept what every band does. Not all of us can do that. Critics can't, because the problem with critics is we are the biggest fans. We are the biggest fans of music. We're more of a fan. We're more of a fan than you mere peasants. No, but we are big fans of music, and that's why you do it. I've never wanted to do music reviews in the press, because I thought it would end up making me hate music. It's bad enough doing it on here, but I can publish and say what I want. It's not necessarily the same in the music press. But you've got to understand where a review comes from. When I hear Stephen Wilson, and it's just trash, and everyone's like tossing off over it, and you listen to it and you go, okay, yeah, more of the same. And nothing has changed since the 90s. You know, what he's doing there, you know, bands were doing in the mid to late 90s. And it's 2021, and everyone's going, this is brilliant. And you're going, whoa. No, come on. No. He needs to do a Radiohead. He needed to reinvent himself. He's tried that with his solo material, and that's been equally underwhelming. Because I don't think Stephen Wilson is a particularly good musician, and I don't think he's particularly authentic in what he does. You know, what is the voice of Stephen Wilson? What does he stand for? What does he represent? Who is he? You know, what's his politics? You know, what has he got to say? He says nothing. You know, that last album was an anti-consumerist rant, which U2 were doing in 1991. You know? Did no one ever take any notice of the Zoo TV tour? I think Stephen Wilson did. He was jotting it down in his little book to be reused 20 years later. And that's the issue. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should be wholly original. We can't be. No one can be wholly original because, you know, all art is theft. But the idea is that if you're going to fucking just repeat yourself. But the fans shouldn't go, oh, this is marvellous. This is brilliant. This is, just say, yeah, it's another fucking rock song. Because that's all it is. I say it, I get it in the neck. You know. There you go. But I mean, you know, I can only talk from my experience. And, you know, when I come to do music, what do I want to achieve with music? One, I want to challenge myself. Two, I try and push in different directions. Though I do feel, because I am on my own, I do, you know, I'm one man, you know, I do feel like I'm chasing my tail the majority of the time. I'm very critical of what I do, you know, and I just find it really dull that people like that shit, you know. But hey, if you like it, that's fine. That's fine. One guy said, because I said, oh, you know, there's loads of other music you can listen to. And one guy said, well, could you give me a list of 100 bands I should listen to? And I went, 100? What do you want, a moon on a stick? It's like, don't be fucking stupid. Hey, what's the point? Cheat says, do I buy DVDs or Blu-rays? No. Wosley says, good call on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I enjoyed it a lot. I haven't watched Dexter yet. Oh, I'm a big fan of Dexter. And I didn't mind the series ended back in 2013. I was okay with it because it seemed like a natural end. It was a bit of a melodramatic show. It, you know, kind of ramped itself up to a fever pitch, but it seemed like a natural conclusion. And this one was all right. It was a good reintroduction, and I found it creepy. And I like the new cinematic take they've done. The direction's more cinematic. Mark says, I heard you saying that you started out on bass guitar. Yep, I'm a bassist. Do I have any favourite bassist? John Entwistle, Chris Squire, Mike Rutherford. Am I a fan of Peter Hook's style? He's a very basic player. He's a bit of he's the kind of bass player that I was when I started playing bass. No, I mean you know, Love Will Tear Us Apart is a great track. Do check out my bad cover version of it. Analog Kid, where do you sit with the new Yes? Go and watch the review, Analog Kid. Where do I sit with Geddy Lee's style of bass playing? Oh, we're going to do that. Oh God. Russell says, hi Russell. Where do I sit with the new Porcupine Tree? Why don't you go and watch the video? Eric says, any interest in checking out No We're In, that movie St. Vincent made with Carrie Brownstein? Pretty weird, pretty good. Where would I see it? Do I have to pay to see it? If I have to pay to see it, I don't want to pay to see it. Is it on a streamer? If it's on a streamer, then I'll check it out. Have I reviewed A Kind of Magic? It will be coming. Cushion says the enemy were smug pricks. All journalists are smug pricks. That's what you get paid. You have to be. Oh, God damn it. You have to look. There's a fine line between self-assurance and arrogance. You have to be conceited to be any kind of creative. You have to be conceited if you're a musician, if you're a film director, if you're a writer. You have to be equally so if you write in the press. You know, you have to have a sense of what I'm doing is right. Otherwise, you wouldn't fucking do anything. You'd all sit home and play with yourself. Ah, dear. Ajax says, do you like Cosmos Rocks? I don't consider it to be a Queen album. Josh says, do you Mark Gass say he's ashamed to be English? Yes, I did. He's an idiot. And why is he ashamed to be English? We have people crossing the channel daily on a daily basis wanting to live here. This is one of the least racist countries in Europe. That's a statistical fact. This is one of the most free societies. You can live how you want, do as you please. You can send your kids to school without fear of them being shot dead, unlike some fucking countries. I'm looking at you, America. Where else would you want to live? He's just pissed off because we voted to leave the EU. All right? Now, if those people had done a good job and convinced me to stay, I would have voted to stay. I'm not some, foaming at the mouth militant Brexiteer. I voted to leave because I didn't believe in the institution. I don't believe in more politicals, more political people making decisions on life. I believe in less politicos and more power to the people. People's parliament, and I see the EU as a structure as a very dangerous structure. It's not democratic. It never will be democratic, and it can never be democratic. It will just end up making rules and regulations that will serve the people that make the rules and regulations. It's a self-serving entity, But people get upset because, free movement. I can't go to my holiday home in the south of France. That's probably what Gats's main problem is. He's probably got property abroad, and he likes the idea of just nipping on the Eurostar without having his papers at hand. Well, boo bloody who. The thing is if they're convinced, when I voted, I thought we was going to lose. Everyone was telling us in the weeks up to it, ain't got a chance. It's 58 to 42 in favour of Remain, right? Those were the figures. So when I voted in, I thought, this would be fun. I'm going to lose. I was ready to lose. In my mind, we'd lost. Me and the missus, we voted to leave, thinking that nothing would happen, thinking that I excised my political vote. Nothing was going to happen. I thought I'd go to bed and I'd wake up in the morning and everything would be the same. First time there was a bit of a tremor was just as I was going to bed, and Farage goes, and he looks a bit like kind of wide-eyed because he was at the beginning of the evening. He was like, I'm done. He looked like this, and then the early polls came in, and he suddenly there was this kind of his eyes kind of opened a bit. And he was like, and I went to bed because I thought, I've lost it. I didn't even bother staying up to watch the results. I thought it was, I don't know if you've seen, was it the Scream Wipe with Charlie Brooker where he goes to bed and wakes up and everything's wrong. That was me, but the other way around. I went to bed thinking I'd lost it. I thought, that was nice to, walk to the, no, Alex wouldn't have made it to the poll. That was 2016. He wouldn't have made it because he was in his wheelie. But after Alex, we walked Hannah to the polling booth, polling station. So I went to bed thinking we'd lost. So when we won the next morning, it was like, black and me, we won. Oh, fuck, I was a bit like Boris Johnson and Michael Gove's face when the results came in for them. And they were like, because everyone thought we'd lost. And it was just a bit of fun. We're gonna stick out Johnny Foreigner. Hey. Unfortunately, I'd still vote the same way again because I don't believe in the EU, But if no one ever made a cogent argument to stay in other than, the sky's going to fall in if you vote to leave. You should never say that to an Englishman because we are the bulldog breed. We are the underdog. We are the one that says, if you can't do something, we roll up our sleeves, say, hold my pint, and we have a go. Because that's who we are. That's why we didn't cow to the Nazis and all that jolly good stuff, because we fight to the fucking end, And so when you say to a Brit, you can't do something, we go, I'll be the judge of that. And that's how we ended up in this predicament. And what I love is the Remainers say, you voted for this. No, I voted to leave the EU. Afterwards, that was up to the politicos to sort out. I didn't have an opinion on that because they didn't give me a chance to vote on that. And even so, how would you formulate a vote? We was either going to leave completely or we'd come up with a new understanding with the EU. And that's up to the politicos to work out. That's not my problem. I didn't vote for whatever's going on at the moment. I didn't vote for Boris Johnson. I don't vote Tory. I'm a Labour voter for my sins. So I love it when they go, I didn't vote for this. I just voted to leave the EU. And I got that one. I won that one after voting Labour all these years and losing. So I won one. But, it's like that's why Gas is sore about it, And it's amazing and it is the middle classes. They've had a real hard time understanding that the world doesn't, the English electorate doesn't march to their drum. And so in their mind, they justify it by calling everyone racist or thick or Little Englander or, whatever. Again, it's more insults, and it's the same insults that were levelled us before the vote. And you shouldn't insult your political opponent because it just hardens their resolve. And those who are indecisive go, blimey, they're a rude bunch of bastards. I'm going to vote for the other side, There was no debate. There was no cogent arguments. It's like what we have. Everyone's got to shut each other down on any subject. Shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. And that's why we're here. And it's going to carry on until everybody realises that we're all going to have to get along. But no, that's Gattis's opinion. Personally, I think this place is a wonderful place. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. More people are coming here every day, and that's it. That's his problem. He can always go and move abroad. He can always go to another country if he's so ashamed of being English. Personally, I've never had any shame in being English because everybody wants to be us. Everyone has a secret admiration for us because we used to rule most of the world. But now they try and lay the guilt trip on us. It's all your fault. Your empire building. What is the EU if it isn't another empire by stealth, eh? Look what they're doing to Poland. Oh dear. Pegasus says Tom York was influenced by FX Twin. Yeah, I know. It's amazing what you can do with the synthesizer. It's really fucking easy. It's the most simple kind of. Okay, Cyrus. I think Cyrus has dropped the brown acid. For Cyrus says that new porcupine tree does sound like more of the same. That's because it is. I cannot lie. Grant says Radiohead were beside the hits were groundbreaking British. People over here all became threatened with a new breed of intellectual musicians from British compared to Liam Gallagher. Comparing Liam Gallagher to Tom York. No, I don't think that was it. No, I don't think that was it. No, I don't. I think you might be wrong there, Grant. Mark says Phil Collins rules. Only when he's sitting down. So he says, I do agree that the future bites was bland and tired. I think with Harridan, having the people re-familiarised with what came before, there may be some music after this album. Do you think so? Cyrus? I wouldn't put money on it, mate. I'll clear up. Mido says, you're right. At the time, as a wee 20-year-old lad, I was exploring serious music and thinking about it for myself. I decided to do away with magazines, and so his eyesight, Melody Maker gave me that push. I mean, I stopped buying the press, when was it? It would have been about 2001. I just stopped. And it wasn't because of that. It's because all the reviews were getting the same. I kept seeming to be reading the same interview with Van Morrison. And it all became really samey. And, it was like I didn't feel like there was anything new coming, And, this is someone who's bought music. I've bought music papers for, magazine, like Q Magazine and whatnot, for, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Would have been about 13 years, I suppose. And I just thought, there's nothing happening. I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying reading it, And I thought, so I kind of stopped. Where do I sit with the new Genesis tour? I don't know. I sit in this chair. Jack says, ever watched American Horror Story? No, I haven't. There's a lot of those, and I don't know. I think it's all on Netflix now. But before, when it started, it was on. I don't know what channel it was on, but I wasn't watching it. It's one of those things. It's a bit like Game of Thrones. We came to that late, and it's like I look at it and go, "Oh, it's too much. It's too much to watch." Aunt says, "Hey, I'm late. Just watched the new Bond film. Never die again, ever again, again and again." I know. Never say never die again, again, again. Twice. Christian says, Andrew Neil has a lovely house in the south of France. He sure does. Mr. Mir says, Law on the Run by Pink Floyd, Synthesizers, 5 notes on repeat. Exactly. Arpeggiator is the most wonderful thing on a synthesizer. If you can program the arpeggiator, you're a fucking genius. Trey says, what's your thoughts on Spock's beard and Neil Morse in general? No and no. Russell said, I used to love Q magazine back in the 90s. So did I. It was my Bible. Used to love it. Love it. Love it, I did. And that's it. We're done. Anyone got any more questions rather than asking me where I sit? I sit on this chair. If I didn't sit on this chair, you wouldn't be able to see me because I'd be sitting on the floor. You wouldn't even see the top of my head. Christian says, Q magazine should start up again. They would do great in America. No, they wouldn't. Nobody buys magazines anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about music. Haven't you figured it out yet? Grant says it was the British guitarist that got Fender Jaguar back in the spotlight. Love that guitar. No, that was Kurt Cobain. It's Kurt Cobain. Maybe a little bit of Johnny Marr, but mainly Kurt Cobain. You love that guitar, do you? That's right. You've seen the Fender have reissued the Jag Stang that Cobain designed. Yeah, a bit too expensive for me at the moment. Got teeth to pay for. Toothaid. Remember, you can help. No. Yeah, the guy from 88 State died. So did the guy from UB40. Don't worry, folks. They're dropping off one by one. UB40. Yeah. Next thing, Deacon Blue. Okay. Just me then. Just me then. Anyone? Any more for any more? Come on, guys, you can do it. Do I remember Vox? Yeah, I had a few copies of that. Yeah, I do remember that. That was the early 90s. I remember they did a special with about Freddie Mercury when he died. I remember buying that one. Russell says, Fender stuff is great. Lovely guitar and bass designs. And good quality control, unlike Gibson. Never buy Gibson. Remember that. Fuck Gibson. Hashtag. Hashtag fuck Gibson. Fender for the win. "50 concurrent viewers. Would you ever sell the Queen box set?" Yeah, there's always a chance. You never know. If there's bills to be paid and I think it's worth it, then yeah. At the moment, it's not worth it because it's being reissued at the end of the month. So, no, not at the moment. But the problem is not that I bought it to sell it. You've heard the story. I bought it because it was supposed to be a limited edition. And I thought, I wouldn't mind that. If I was going to collect all the albums, that would be nice. But then it's not limited edition, so it's not worth, it's not worth me selling it. I only sell stuff when I know the price goes up, or unless it's records that, I just want to offload, so... Grant says, most artists are slowly dropping off after 60. Yeah, because too many drugs. Art says, jar, tune, arpeggiator and concerts in China is good. Yeah, again, arpeggiators are wonderful. Cyrus says, I don't see why they still make CDs, because do you know what? They sell more CDs than records, honest. It's true, honest. Beyond money in the box sets, I figure with cassettes, it's the same as vinyl. An old format making a big comeback, though it hasn't been nearly as big as vinyl. Again, vinyl's not exactly. I mean, vinyl's. I don't know. I think it's on the kind of. It's on the wobble. I think that we've reached the peak of that. Because I see a lot of collectible vinyl not selling. A lot of the record store day stuff in the old days, it'd sell out on the day. Now you can still pick that stuff up, months afterwards, even stuff from previous years. So, I don't think vinyl is as popular. I think the second-hand market might be, but I think again, what they've done is they've got greedy, and the price of new vinyl is just so expensive. I like the Radiohead one they did; that was something like $37.99. But I got a red one, and maybe one day it might be worth, I don't know, $42.99 if I sell it second-hand. But yeah. Joshua asked if I watched any John Edgerton interviews. I watched a bit of Phil Collins, but they're like 2.5 hours long, and I ain't got that much time. It's too long. It's too long. It's too long. Peter Christian, what turned me off Q was the lists. Endless lists. We don't do lists here. Lists are pointless. Trey says, are there any modern prog you like? No, I hate all of it. Every single bit of it, because it's all bullshit. It's not progressive. It might be prog, but it ain't progressive. But if you like it, good for you. I don't. I find it tedious. And the complete opposite of what it's supposed to be. There you go. Oh, Darren's being negative again. Yeah. They whinge. I unsubscribe because you're too negative. That's because you unsubscribe because you're a wanker. That's why. You unsubscribe because you're weak. He's being negative. I don't like it. He said something bad about a record I like. I'm going to insult him and his children. That'll make me feel good. You're pathetic. You are pathetic. You're just jealous of me and my good looks and my amazing talent. Oh dear. But no, I don't like any modern music. I don't buy any. I don't actually listen to any music. It's all a myth. I just pretend to listen to it. I just get all the reviews. I just get all the reviews off of Wikipedia. Where was I? James says, "Evening. What's your favourite old school stomp box?" Stomp box. Old school stomp box. Oh, you mean effects pedal? Well, it would have been the VG99, but it's not. What do I use? Plugins. I use Bias FX 2 for my guitars now. Brilliant. You see, I worked it out. When push comes to shove, I only ever use like 2, 3, maybe 4 different guitar sounds. There's not that great deal of variety in what I do. You have like a clean sound and a distorted sound, like a lead sound. And sometimes you might have a little bit of chorus on it and this, that and the other, but you don't need thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of a fucking gear to achieve it. You can do it in a plug-in inside the box these days, and it's perfectly good. Listen to the last, 3 or 4 CDs worth of material. If you want the guitar stuff, listen to the latest one, Flags, because that's all Bias FX plug-in. The guitar, the bass and the guitars, all the guitars go through that now. So yeah, that's what I use. And the reason is, one, it's space. I had a great big tower system here, which made me feel like I was, living in a branch of Guitar Centre. That's a store, isn't it? And I only got the big wheelie thing because of what happened with the shop. It's so I could move my gear around easily because we was moving all the time. And I just got to the point that I'd had that gear for, crikey, 10 years, 11 years. And the thing is that electronic stuff goes wrong, right? Things go wrong with it. After 10 years, capacitors start to, fail. Things go wrong with it. And I didn't fancy having a load of gear that went wrong when I could flog it and do it in software. a lot cheaper. So I flogged it and got a lot more space, and the money that I made, I bought some different guitars, and I'm happy. Nothing changed. And I have it's simplistic. It's easier. Easy. Is it easier? Well, it's kind of easier. Some things are easier. Recording's easier. I don't know. Is it easier? I don't know. It's just a lot of gear in it. It's a lot of things to carry around. Now I've just got to get rid of some of the guitars, because I think I've got too many guitars. But I like guitars. They make me happy in my silly little way. So there you go. But thanks for asking. That was a different question. Lance says, show my age there. Stopped buying music press around the time Oasis became popular. Couldn't understand such regressive crap becoming popular after a great indie alternative era up to 94, 95. Yeah, but Oasis were before that, weren't they? Well, Oasis, because they do good tunes. They're big because the same way Status Quo are big. It's because they do songs that people can sing along to. And there's nothing wrong with being popular. Andrew says, what's the fuss over Adele? I don't know. She can sing. She has this girl of the people approach, very common touch, But she's no Amy Winehouse, is she? Amy, it's a terrible shame. Have I heard the Marillion teaser? Asked James. No. Should I? Answer is, try Harding, check out Finnish band Circle. Oh no, don't listen to Finnish bands. God, Jesus. Don't listen to all this foreign crap. You want to listen to good British bands. All this foreign muck. Rubbish. Oh, have you heard of this Estonian progressive rock band? Oh, do fuck off. Are they on Inside Out by any chance? Or K-Scope? Oh, fuck me. It's desperate, isn't it? Cushion says, Adele's music makes me think of natural yogurt. Okay. Cyrus says, I still think, with not including the B-side Worry Walk, there's some sort of content Radiohead was holding back with Kid Amnesia. But I think they've probably got quite a lot of bit in the archive, but they are very, very careful with what they release, aren't they? They're very careful with the stuff that comes out. I know they did a lot of recording. Again, those albums were a very, very problematic time for them. Tom York was kind of burnt out by everything, and was going through certain stuff because of all the touring and the pressures. It's so hard. It's so hard to be a rock and roll star. Getting up every night. Working for maybe 2.5 hours, and then coming off stage. Your every whim catered for as you move from city to city, and you do the same thing every night in front of thousands and thousands of adoring fans. And if you want, you could fuck any one of them because they'd let you do it. You're being paid. You're being paid to do this, but it's very hard, very hard. Very hard for them. So you're burnt out. Very hard. Tracy said, I knew the answer before you answered. That's because, I'm fucking obvious. Sorry, says, too many people think being a realist is being negative. I think everybody just wants a pat on the head. Again, it comes from that thing of everyone being a winner, everyone being unique. We're not. Yeah, we're unique in our own way, but we're special only to ourselves. If an alien dropped down, imagine an alien landed and it looked at us, it wouldn't necessarily tell any difference between you, me, and Cyrus, and a dog. It'd analyse us and it'd say they've all got the same kind of biology, and it might think that the dog's the leader. Because you think, God, look at it. It can lick its own balls. He can't. Not unless I have 2 ribs removed, but no. I mean, this is it. Aliens. Get onto that. Yeah. Look, people are very fragile. Very fragile. So I've got the fragile sticker on my head. It's I'm just mocking you all. No, but look, I like music. I love music, and I just get very aggrieved when Stephen fucking Wilson comes along. I never liked No Man. and they didn't sell any fucking records. This is the beautiful irony of it, right? All these fucking people, right? They had their chance in the 90s, and nobody wanted them then, right? Porcupine Tree sold no fucking records in the late 90s. They sold no fucking records in the 2000s. They sell no fucking records now. But because there aren't any other like big bands around, because the music industry has shrunk so much, they find themselves at the top of the tree, whatever tree that is, right? They're like, I imagine all of you have worked, right? Just I'm the only one that hasn't, right? But you go to very, very, very often you go to a business and you'll see a guy and he's completely fucking useless. He's completely incompetent, right? But you'll see him and you go, he's not incompetent enough to be fired. But somehow he always seems to get on the right side of the bosses. And I guarantee if you come back in 10 years, that guy will be running the business. That's Stephen Wilson. That is Stephen Wilson and the current state of the music biz. All the top bands have died off or become, and he's just sitting there with his 5,000 sales thinking he's fucking, I don't know, Kate Bush. His albums wouldn't even hit the top 100 back in the 80s or even the 90s, That's it. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. But there you go. But he's that guy at work who just gets to the top by just hanging around like a bad smell, like a vegan fart. Mark Davis says, I'm jealous of your record collection. I don't know how. You've never seen my record collection. I'm sure I've sold more of my record collection than I actually own at the moment. Sorry, says, the one where I admit I'm a total plagiarist. How dare you? Russell says, did you ever buy an album with the wrong record inside? Happened to me before. Trying to think. I should have done, shouldn't I? No, I don't think I did. I put a few wrong records in sleeves for people I didn't like when I used to work in Woolworths. I did it to my deputy headmaster. Oh, he came in. I shouldn't have been working. I was working one lunchtime and skipping off school. That's when I used to work. That was before I was a lazy bum. Now I'm a lazy bum. But I got a chance to work in Woolworths for a week when I should have been actually studying. I should have been actually doing my A-levels, but I took a week out to work because of money, cash money. And I'm working there, and who should pop in but my fucking deputy headmaster? So he already saw me, but he didn't recognise me, thankfully. So yeah, I thought, well, I'm going to get you. I made him come back. He came back at like 5 o'clock. Oh, there's the wrong record in here. Oh, that's a shame. I must have been in the wrong sleeve. And he was very nice about it. Oh, I'm so terrible. I'm such a terrible person. I'm going to go to hell. Mido says, lol, are you being negative again? You mind you don't upset the children. Oh, I upset everyone. Russell says, still disappointed how so much music went flat after 2000. You noticed as well. Cyrus says, people were complaining about Adele losing weight earlier. So fucking what? So she lost weight. What's her name as well? The actress. She lost weight too. Do you know why? Because all the fatties are jealous. All the fatties go, oh, when Adele's fat, they look at her and go, oh, look at Adele. She's fat. That means I can be fat. And they stuff another Big Mac into their fat, corpulent faces. Oh, look at all the fatties. Oh, I can be a fatty too, And then when she loses weight, they're resentful of it. Simple. Don't eat badly. Get lots of sleep. Get exercise. Cut out sugar. And girl, the weight will fall off of you. Eat more vegetables. Eat more fruit. It's really easy. The problem is there's all this, people go and get a coffee from their designated coffee spot, and there's probably about 87 sugars in it, because they've got a syrup or something in it. Thoughts on Finland's educational system? I have no idea what you're referring to. Art says, Circle released their own. They are legends. I released my own, therefore I am a legend too. Thank you for that validation. Fasano says, have you heard the classic French prog band Ange? Not bad for a bunch of frogs. Oh, man. Well, firstly, there's no such thing as French prog. That's just not true. Come on, we know that progressive rock is fundamentally a British genre of music. Steve Howe even said it when he was up on the stage. Even he said it. You know, it's something we did. You know, I mean, did I ever say, "Oh, have you heard this? I don't know, this Dutch reggae band?" And people roll their eyes. You know, no. Have you listened to this Bosnian country and western band? It's ludicrous, isn't it? Ludicrous. Grant says, it gives me chills, new progressive rock bands. I can't relate to the speed and dynamics of the bands. It leaves my listening skills in the dust. But it's not, it doesn't mean anything. Just because you play fast doesn't mean, it means nothing. It's meaningless. It's like they might as well be on fucking record breakers. What does it mean? It means nothing. They have nothing to say. Their music appeals to only wankers, you know. It's just appalling. It's horseshit. And it's all going to be forgotten pretty damn quickly. That's the thing, and people don't realise it. Music is done. As a musical form, it's finished. It ain't coming back. It's done. It's done. Like classical music was for a good few centuries, you know. Classical music just went, and then it came back. Just think of all the classical composers that were lost, who were forgotten. Do you think it was all Mozart and Beethoven? There were more, but their music wasn't necessarily as popular. Their manuscripts got lost in time. Well, that's the same with all this music, you know. All of it will be gone. Landfill. Art Matter says, Stephen Wilson, Kate Bush mashup. Well, Stephen Wilson desperately wanted to remix Kate Bush's work. He wanted to do like a surround mixes, and he got in touch with them, and they said, fuck off, we've got our own people to do that. So I like Kate Bush. I like Kate Bush a lot. She's sensible. Andrew says, Stephen Wilson is a businessman, really, and not a musician. Absolutely. He's very cynical in what he does. I respect him for what he's been able to do, but I don't like what he does musically. I think he's a very clever guy. I think he's very smart. He's smarter than I am. God damn it, you know. I don't hate him. I think he's, you know, like I say, I think he's a very clever guy, but I don't like I think what he does is just completely facile and fatuous. You know, and it's my job to point and laugh because that's who I am, you know. Again, I was talking to the missus about this, and you know, she said, "Where did this start? When did this start?" And I said, "I'll tell you exactly when it started. It started in 2002 with In Absentia." She went, "Tell me more." And it all started wobbling like that, and I was young again. And I didn't have any hair, did I? No, I'd shaved my head by then. But I was walking Alex, and I was, again, everyone was raving about that album. And I'd listened to it, and I was like, oh, when it came out, I was like, I didn't, it's like, it was a bit girly, you know, it was a bit soft in the middle. All that loud, quiet shit. And I just like, that's all he does. His dynamics are loud, quiet, you know. Loud, quiet, and that's supposed to be dramatic, you know. I don't see any musical sophistication in there. He only gets that when he gets guest musicians in, you know. And then, like that track, Blackest Eyes, and you listen to it and you go, oh, I don't know, I like this one. Because what he likes to do is he likes to be subversive. He likes to put, you know, jolly music against pretty dark and horrible. Again, that song is, again, it's about a serial killer. It's about somebody taking joy in watching a woman either be killed, beaten, or just be upset by them. Blackest Eyes is a referring to their mascara running, or it's them beating them to a pulp. I don't know, but it's done like a love song, and the protagonist in it is like, well, there's a wire loose in my head, and it's like he's excusing his behaviour, and it comes from a very male, self-entitled place, and I know what that is, and I don't like it, and I thought, this is someone I don't like. Well, in terms of the lyrics, because again, he's one of these people who thinks he's the cleverest guy in the room, right? You know that, you can tell, and you listen to that song, and then go and look at any one of the playbacks. You've got women in the audience singing it like it's a love song, and it's about domestic violence, or at least murder. It's about femicide. But it's presented as, and you go, oh. And that's him. That's his whole shtick. His whole shtick is that. All right? That's what he does. That's what he does. That's all he can do. There is no depth to anything he does. That's it. That's it. That's it. Right. So it started there. That's when my radar went, because I was aware of the stuff he did before that, like Bob's Son and Stupid Dream, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of wishy-washy stuff. It's like, but it was that song that really really rankled me, really kind of. I was like, yeah, I've got my eye on you, Wilson. Got my eye on you. And that's what really happened. Andrew, Anarchy, he's more a musician than a businessman. No, he's more a businessman than a musician. You like it, and Analog Kid likes Adele. Good, that's good. Mark says, that has got to be the most accurate description of Stephen Wilson I've ever heard. I applaud you, sir. Because I like to think I know what I'm talking about. Be a fucking first time, wouldn't it? Analog Kid says, Adele looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think she's got a good set of lungs on her. Again, it's not really a genre of music I pay much attention to. I've seen her do stuff on. I don't know. She's probably done Glastonbury or something. Didn't she do Glastonbury? Did she do cover for the Foo Fighters? Was that her? It was all right. It's all right. It's okay. Trey says, what did you end up doing to get in better health? I've cut back on drinking and I lost about 30 pounds. Well, I don't drink anyway, and I don't smoke. I never have done. I've drunk, but I stopped drinking like seriously when my daughter was conceived. It was like, that's it, I'm done. I do drink. I have a drink at Christmas, glass of champagne. I might have a lager beer with a curry or something. If I have a curry, but these are few and far between. Birthdays, Christmas, there may be a sip of alcohol, but I don't drink to get drunk. That ended a long time ago. If I do go out, if I do drink, I usually have something to eat. Usually there's a meal, and there might be a cider or a Kronenberg, one or two, and that's usually my limit. But that's now that. The last time I had anything to drink or eat in a pub, that was with dear Russell Hammond, who's a frequenter and a supporter, Australian fellow who came over to the UK, and I met him. Remember, folks, if you want to come and meet me, the Plume and Feathers just over there. Call me. I'll meet you there. You can buy me lunch. I'm always up for that. You can always feed me. But I lost a lot of weight, and I think it was the diabetes anyway. Because when we came here, I mean, my weight went up crazy, but I put it down to looking after the kids. And I've got an app, because I've got these fancy scales, and I was monitoring my weight, and then it went up crazy. Crikey, I can't remember exactly when it was now. It must have been after my mum died. I started putting on a lot of weight. And I don't know if it was the stress of that, but I had Herb, and Herb was non-verbal, and he was spending a lot of his days just screaming and stuff. And you can see, if you go back and look at those videos, I look like a different person. I look like somebody who was slowly dying inside. It was very hard time for me. Again, the missus doesn't really know what it was like because she was out working. You know, so I put on an awful lot of weight then, and I thought I had diabetes then because I kept needing to go to the toilet when I was in, of a night, nocturnal, kept getting up and going. So I went to the doctors, tested my urine. They said, "Oh, it's just an infection." So they gave me some tablets. It still happened occasionally, but then I put it down to being a fat, ugly pig. So I've never changed what I eat. This is the thing, because I don't eat a lot. I have breakfast, I have lunch, I have dinner, but I'm not a grazer. I'm not somebody who's constantly eating or eating, fast food. I have fast food, but very rarely. Sometimes. Might have a pizza. But again, that's not a whole pizza. That is a slice of pizza. It's shared amongst the family. Where some people eat whole pizzas. So my diet's been roughly the same. So, and then, crikey, when was it? It was around 2017 when we got rid of when we got Hannah, and I was walking just a little bit more. I was walking all the way back and forth to school, doing hundreds and hundreds of miles a week, but the weight wasn't coming off me. I was saying to the missus, "Crikey, I'm doing all this walking," but my body started to change anyway. I was putting more muscle on. My legs are incredibly muscular, and like a cycler's legs. But I wasn't losing any weight. And then when we got Hannah, then the weight started to just literally drip off of me. So it just went right down. And then with all this thing this year, I just stopped having any sugar in my. I was reducing sugar in my tea anyway, but now I don't have any sugar. Again, biscuits. I just have maybe one biscuit. Just cut back on that. But I'm not particular. Like I said, I don't. I'm not on a diet. Though when I got the first thing about my blood sugar's being 110, there was some starvation, just out of sheer fear, because I thought, God, 110. I was taking the metformin. I was on 3 of those, and that made me feel really ill. And there were, whereas I was just eating very sparsely, But once everything stabilised, back to my regular diet, and I'm 12. I'm 12.5, 12.6 at the moment. So, that's good. They were happy with me when they weighed me last time. They said, "God, you've lost even more weight." So, I don't know though. Again, probably this time of year it's cold. You tend to fancy, the wrong kind of stuff. So I'll probably put a bit of weight on. I don't know, but I'm not that worried about it at the moment. Art says he's a musician. Exactly. James says, "Oh Christ, saw Pork Tree supporting Marillion back in '95. They were very psychedelic back then, not in a good way. Exactly, they were like poor man's Pink Floyd, And it's like, I'm not, And it keeps going about Stephen Wilson. Stephen Wilson is the greatest musician artist of the 21st century. I should block you for that. That is a fucking insult." George says, "Your Queen reviews have encouraged me to revisit their catalogue. Maybe this time I'll become a fan. Heart Attack has already gone up in my estimations. It's a great album." Well, again, I can understand why people don't like Queen, because they are bombastic and they're arrogant and they've got that swagger and they're crazy and they don't take it seriously, but they do and they don't, and they're all fucking brilliant musicians, And I can understand why people don't like it, They were the first band I got into through Greatest Hits. I got the tape. I can't remember when I got it. I must have been, I don't know, about 11 or 12, I think. I think it goes back even further now. Because I was thinking, like I said, I saw them do Las Palabras de Amor on top of the Pops. And I would have only been 11 then, but I was familiar with the band then. I was like excited by it. So, but yeah. So that's it, I can't help myself. Can't help myself. You can never forget your first love. And that's the thing, Art says, "True, Darren. Wilson is apologist for the dark side." James says, "Heart Attack and the Lowbar, the only song to mention Ashford." And look, he says, Heart Attack Library is an amazing song. He means Ashford in Kent. Grant says, I feel We Will Rock You, the live version is superior to the studio. You're wrong. Mido goes, sorry, can't type because I shouldn't stay up so late, but glad I did. Top form tonight. Oh, glad you enjoyed it. Andrew says, I'd like to take your whole family for dinner. Now, steady on. We don't do that. No. You only get to meet me. You don't get to meet the family. No. That's separate. That's overstepping my boundaries. Cyrus says, so Hannah. Well, she's not here. She's upstairs. she doesn't like being here when the live stream's on. I mean, I can show you because I can see George talking about weight loss, and we can look at it if you want. George says, I lost roughly 10 to 12 kilos in 2017-18 by mainly cutting out, minimising snacks and having clearly defined meal times. Well, that's what I've always done. Though living alone, having a full control of my diet undoubtedly helped. Yeah, I don't think I was snacking when I was looking after the kids. But again, I think when you're looking after kids, I think your metabolism just slows down because you go at their pace and everything. Again, you walk slower and everything slows down. And they're little. When they get bigger, now it's great because they can walk at my pace and everything's wonderful. But let me just show you my phone because my phone has all my details on. Oh, got a new lava lamp over there. It's really good because it was the missus' birthday, and we got an official lava lamp, from Mathmos. Where's me weight? Well, you can see my steps. There you go. Where's how we do the month? There's the steps. I'm not doing as many steps now as I used to but the green's where I go over. So I walked 6.2 miles today. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. Look, can you see that? 6.6. At the weekends, probably do a little bit less because I tend to have a little rest time. And when it goes a bit orange, that's usually when it's been raining, and because Hannah doesn't like going out in the rain. So that's my walking. I'm trying to find my weight on the health thing. It's come down. Oh, here we go. Can I do it by year? Yeah, here we go. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, right, you can see it there. Look, you can see how it goes up. Can you see that? So I go up from I guess it'd be about 15 stone up to nearly 17, nearly 18 stone in 2015. And that's when I'm looking after the kids, you see. 2012 was when my mum died. So it kind of goes up, and then after that it crashes down because 2017 is when I got Alex, and then you can see it crash down even further. You see that little blip up isn't me putting weight on. That's just me putting. That's a pound. That is a pound going on. Last week I put a whole pound on. Isn't that shocking? But you can, yeah. 12% fat. There you go. So the other week it said I was 9. 7th of September, 9.6% fat. Must have had a big poo that day. Muscle mass. Oh, muscle mass has dropped down. It was 83%. It's gone down to, oh God, I can't see. 83.5. There you go. You can see my entire body composition. I'm 12 stone 6 at the moment. There you go. Look at that. There we go. That's my body composition, folks. Isn't it? Where are we? Oh no, that's the wrong week. I just put the wrong week up. People say I'm lying. Oh God, how does this work? How do I go back to the main screen? I missed the tab. The tab's gone. How do I get back to the... Why isn't there a tab anymore? I want a tab. Oh, that's it. Oh no, it's 12 stone 7 actually. Put on a pound. Whoops, I was 12 stone 6, but gone up. Ain't terrible. I'm a bigger, fat, ugly pig again. Oh no. But hey, that's what you get. It's the winter. Body stores fat in winter. Sorry, so his thoughts on dealing with finances when the cold and snow hits. Put an extra layer of woolies on. George McKenna says, my first true music love was Muse. You poor, poor creature. So no excuses for not liking Queen. Exactly. Grant says, your health advice is well worth Tuesday shows. Well, I don't do anything. I've always walked. Again, even when the kids were little, we used to go out for a daily walk and everything. Unfortunately, at that point, Alex wasn't walking so well because he was like, I don't know, how old was he? 15? 14 years old, 15 years old. He died 17. He was when he died, 17 years old. Not bad going. James says, power chords. I use first and pinky, first and third, looks and feels wrong. Do what you want, doesn't matter. Mark says, the one where I shared my vital statistics. I think I've done that one. How tall am I? I've shrunk, and it's frightening. It's a bit worrying. I used to be 6 foot. I'm not 6 foot anymore. When we came here, I measured myself on the door and I was 6 foot. That was in 2014. I measured myself recently. I don't want to say it. I've shrunk. 5 foot 10. Maybe 5'9". Might be 5'10". 5'10" with my boots on. But I've shrunk. And I'm not happy. Mrs. has shrunk too. She's lost some height. And again, I don't know if it's to do with the diabetes. Maybe, everything's. I know I've got a few pains in my lower back. I worry that that might be something to do with it. But yeah, I used to be 6 foot, but now I'm not. So I feel like the world's got a bit bigger. Herb's certainly big. He said he's going to look after me when I'm old, though, so that's all right then. Analog says, I reckon he's 6'2". No, I was never 6'2". I was 6 foot, but I've shrunk, so I'm not as tall as I used to be. And I don't know what's happened. It's happened in the last few years. I'm a bit disappointed with me, actually. Grant says 5'9". Oh, that's all right then. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyway, I realise it's getting late. And it's been lovely chatting with everyone. Hopefully I haven't annoyed too many Stephen Wilson fans. We'll do this all again soon. You've got another Queen View lined up tomorrow. I might be dropping in some other ones as well. There'll be some... the Radiohead one and whatever. There'll be some other things dropped in amongst them. But do keep watching. There will be regular reviews and coffee time. If I remember, there'll be coffee times as well to do, where I have a little look at the newspapers and whatnot. And thanks for popping by. Remember, if you can't be good, be safe. But more importantly, don't tell your mother. Ta-da!